Unity Broadcasting Television don't come for unify, sensitize, and inform Salon people home and abroad. Unity Broadcasting TV don't come
for developments now we come to
unify, sensitize, and inform we all.
For developments now we nation Salon.
Unity Broadcasting TV don't come
for developments now we come to
unify, sensitize, and inform we all.
For developments now we nation Salon.
We now independent media house. We dey here for unify, sensitize, and inform Sierra Leoneans home and abroad.
We dey here so for talk, but wetin dey happen? Political discussion.
You for know about Salon politics.
Religious messages, entertainment self no go left bien.
We no go left nothing bien no.
Indeed, we no go left nothing behind at all. And so I go take welcome on this evening to the program Tell It to Unity. My name is Elizabeth Kefuigembe. Today we don't see how everybody want to be journalists. Well, we all are journalists. Some are qualified, some are not qualified. But that is not the point where we try for Lucas. The point here is the Sierra Leone Association of Journalists, SLAJ, they don't decide, say, themselves they push the word firm into the constitutional review. Constitutional review so that they go make sure, say, indeed, the voice of journalists can stand firm. Meaning, press freedom, it be part of the constitutional review. It be part of a clause or chapter where we self go be proud of. So that tomorrow, we go walk out at the streets and say, indeed, we fought for it. Indeed, we are striving. Indeed, it is working. So for sake of that, we go also talk around the issue of the Juba Barracks. We now all know, say, that's not the trending issue right now. So this evening, on Tell It to Unity, we will get to border with Kelvin Lamdo. Kelvin Lamdo in a media analyst. He will come to we for Tell Unity, waiting they go on. Good evening and welcome to Unity, Kelvin.
Thank you very much.
All right, so Kelvin, you day on Tell It to Unity. This night program where they come to the nation of things that where they born around and things that where they trend around. So you don't see how inside the constitutional review, the SLAJ presidents instead don't enough farm. It wants for let press freedom be a standout, not only something where would they talk press freedom, let it stand out inside the constitution. So you as an analyst, what do you think of that?
Well, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity because myself now an able member of SLAJ and we all been done the look forward to something like a waiting SLAJ don't push can before so. May remember say the 1991 constitution was born in 1991 out of a one-party constitution we now be the 1978 constitution. And that one day been get a lot of limitations to movement, freedoms, and all the rest of it. But when 1991 constitution come, we constitutionalist people can always say, constitution and the FIBA, the ancestors. That means in 1991, the FIBA, the 1978 tune to some extent. Although freedoms them in the day, we na section 25, 1 and 2, where they talk about freedom of the press and freedom of expression, is not enough because those are just sections. And if you look at 25.1, we give freedom of the press, freedom of expression. If you look at 25.2, it give limitations also. It give under the circumstances which person will get in freedom of expression at all. So it means 25.1 guarantee, 25.2 it give the limitations. We are not enough for a democratic society where Sierra Leone don't itself now. First, in Sierra Leone be under a one-party constitution, we actually not been get too much freedoms. So if we don't come to a real democracy in a way, we communicate with other countries across the world, I think now a situation we are in, we forget absolute freedom. Although there is no absolute freedom anyway, but we forget a greater freedom than the one within this existing constitution in section 25, 1 and 2. So, agree with Sludge for the position where they say we forget a whole chapter where they deal with this. Because this is dealt with under chapter 3, which is the chapter waiting for human rights and human freedoms. But now, not just a section we get there. And the two sections, SF 1 and 2, one they give you the freedom, the other one they limit the freedom. So it's better we get a whole chapter where we go discuss the freedom at liberty. Then even if there are restrictions, we'll get an opportunity for juxtapose the limitations to the freedoms and say we get more freedom than limitation in a democracy, because democracy really needs freedom of speech.
Democracy needs freedom of speech, but it comes with responsibility. Now you see some journalists and they look at and say, oh, we get freedom of speech, and then can say anything where they want for say. You, when a media analyst, if you say that, it's also good for the individuals, then we then will say that, so that somebody will come and lie, say, oh, they don't suppress me, or they want to suppress me. So with all those limitations, the freedom where you get, the freedom not for be limited, you will just talk because you're a journalist.
Yeah, well, there is no absolute freedom absolutely anywhere in the world. Even at the best democracy, there is no absolute freedom. There must be responsibilities, I know. But the more we get a bigger space inside the constitution, the more we're able to discuss their responsibilities and itemize them and show the media person how and when if we're exercising freedom of speech or freedom of expression. But notwithstanding that, I think because of the scanty way they measure freedom of speech inside this existing constitution, it puts the country in a funny way. We guaranteed of freedom of speech anyway, which is nobody no go doubt, and now everybody's guaranteed it under that particular situation. But also there is a legitimate limitation inside it also. We make the thing very funny. But if we get a whole chapter, the whole chapter go discuss even the entry, because you make a mention about some journalists and then train, some not train. You understand it? So, because for now, the situation is very loose. I will say this with sincerity because I've been in the field for a very long time and I know how it operates. The situation is loose. The situation within now, the freedom we day, you understand it? A fitter, excuse me for the language, a fitter will just come on a garage, you understand it, can just go na IMC with a paper, say I don't set up a company, a media company, and I have to open a newspaper, you understand it? IMC not supposed to refuse them license. Like IMC supposed to get a license. Why for get a license? Because the law says so. So there is no verification that you get media education or you get media exposure or experience. It just say any Sierra Leonean we want for come in the media space. You understand it? If we go to the IMC and the IMC think and fit for you, it give. So this is not a risk. The risk is there are people who will come into the media space with their agenda. Where already they exist. There are people who come inside with their agenda. You understand? When once the agenda is set, they can just move away and go away and become what they want to become in the future, which is not as bad. But the reality is, the real people who get business in the media, they should be in the media. But if we get a whole department or a whole chapter within the Constitution of Sierra Leone, where or freedom of expression, that particular section go to the extent for even show how people are coming to it. Because we know, say, into the engineering profession, for example, civil engineers don't just come out. You understand it? Say, I can't be civil engineer, then get a license, they go build hospital for people. It can't happen. Medical doctor also, you don't just come out, you say, you remain people, you can't begin kill people. You know the work, so you forget a thorough medical education which certified by recognized media government institution. So also we go once for like happen for the media. The media supposed to get a catch point where There are many media schools now in Sierra Leone with the trained media people. Why we can't limit them to people going through there? Yes, that's the guarantee of safeguards, because a doctor can mistake per one patient, he kill the patient. You understand? The situation will still remain normal. But when one journalist mistake per information, it can send the one whole nation into problem. So why can't we have a situation where the entry point into journalism is clear? You understand? The freedoms also are spelled out, and the limitations also are spelled out and are there for arguments. So people can argue a limitation, because not all limitation, we're blanket limitation. You get limitation for certain purpose, because astagfirullah, if Sierra Leone is at war and Sierra Leone they mobilize troops for going at the war front, you understand? It is not the business of the media for go and broadcast before then they left. Now the wild world say, hey, 800 troops don't left for Congo na so point. That means to say the element of surprise, you don't take it away from the troops and you don't put the troops into jeopardy. So for avoid that, those are some of the limitations. Or also, if there is a very serious health crisis in the country where people and they die because of certain health condition, then plans they for make sure say they curb down the, and that plans they not actually out well. The media people just begin going and broadcast things the way they feel to say not responsible enough. What thing will happen? We are going to put the whole life of the citizenry at risk. So there should be limitations, but those limitations not for be blanket. Then for get them in a chapter wherein them go able to argue them one after the other, so that we will get a good democratic process, because democracy is about freedom of speech, so give and take. There is a professor who say, Jojo is better than war. Let people talk instead of people chap themselves with cutlass or other weapons there. So this is wherein the dedicated chapter into the Constitution of Sierra Leone is needed for media freedom or freedom of expression.
All right. Kelvin, you talk about people that are not qualified. Now, somebody will talk, say, I get a degree. Not only, even in SLAJ, where you go there, they not go talk, say, pass, you get media degree. Then just go talk, say, you get qualification. And that qualification equivalent to like a higher level education. And you don't practice journalism for 3 years, according to SLAJ, right? So now, you the offer solution or suggestion, say, anybody where want for going to journalism, for let them stop either misinformation or troubling happening, sparking trouble. You the buffer that solution, say them for be in a media space or them for don't learn journalism, and that you try for saying?
Well, I know they inhibit the coming of other people into the space, because really journalism is a calling, it's a craft, it's a profession, how you want to call them. Because there are people who are just born with that craft. You can't take it away from them. We know a number of people who don't go to media school, but they are very fantastic. In fact, they are media educators now safe. So that is not the point. The point is, because we not get a full chapter, we're not going to get a lot of them things here right. If we get a full chapter into the Constitution, we get what we will put inside it. We will let people and not just come and abuse the space and go. Because this is the biggest space where they enhance democracy. The media space is the biggest space where they enhance democracy. Nobody no go tell me say democracy go thrive, usai good hospital and no more boku, or usai powerful court system then they. Democracy they thrive, usai freedom of speech day. Because freedoms, now democracy they talk about. Democracy is talking about demo means people. You understand? And people should be not only be seen, they should be heard also. Even the market woman and market, you get for Yeri for man. But that does not say if we just left in market now and talk saying a journalist. There should be an entry point and a regulatory framework which is already existing. But the regulatory framework is so powerful now past the way people and they even enter the space for practice. So this is a risk also. So before we get the risk under this kind of scanty freedom, we'll get into in just in chapter section 25 1 and 2, you understand, it is good that we have a whole chapter we go debate a lot of things, because we get a lot of media experts them we go ready for throw the ideas and the expertise into formulating that chapter, setting it apart so that we will get the freedoms right. Because even if we get the freedom right, it's not just for the journalists, it's for every citizen. Because inside the constitution, there is no point where they go say a journalist, they go say a person. And when I say a person, I mean any Sierra Leonean.
All right, you said something about the IMC. Anybody from garage, they go register them, open a newspaper. Now, you know, if you say that's too harsh for Sierra Leonean, that somebody they come out no more, they go register, waiting at the criteria where if you say IMC for sets.
Well, the law is the law. The IMC, they do things according to the IMC Act of 2000 as amended. You understand it? So you can't fault them. Because even if the IMC has the powers of the High Court of Sierra Leone, so if you, as a Sierra Leonean, because the constitution clear, the act clear, I mean, say any person we want for register or we want for open a newspaper or a radio station or a television station or any mass media outlet for get the approval of the IMC. So if somebody don't fill in all the other aspect, them, it don't open a company, it don't open in asset, in NRA account, it gets in tax clearance and everything, then you go to IMC. IMC just get forget according to the law. But if there is something in the constitution that says that this person for don't get so and so qualification or so and so experience, then it go prompt that person for go get the experience or the qualification and come. And in that process, that person go get the responsibility as a true media person, where it go able for take responsibility for things they will in the broadcast. Because a good majority of all the broadcasters right now, they do likewise. They do justice to this particular side. They do their work with freedom, with the authority. Few cases they go na IMC. But if the IMC fail for register somebody who can open a media house on the grounds that say in no practice before or in no get media education, you know what will happen? That person will easily just go to the Court of Appeal and then go squash that decision of the IMC, and IMC will register that person. So for now, this is the situation as it is. So we need a chapter in the Constitution. We will give you a clear roadmap, you understand, for how this freedom of expression or freedom of the press go day inside. Because a lot of citizens now, they misunderstand a lot of things and where they go on. There are many cases that now we don't come up recently where people and they talk some things them where then they fall foul with the law. So a lot of people now not able for distinguish whether waiting in the 100 people and they on now because of the freedom of speech or na problem where they don't cause against the state laws there. The people find that difficult for understand. But if we get a specific chapter within the Constitution where don't specify with freedoms of the media, of persons and all the rest of it, it goes simple. So anybody will make a foul statement where they against the country, you go really clearly see and say, in all day within this particular chapter of press freedom or freedom of speech, it don't fall elsewhere. And if it don't fall elsewhere, it's simple for understand. But now a lot of people in the DOAN, because we just get section 25(1), we get, I think, A, B, and C, or D, do you understand? And we get section 25(2), where you get A, B, C, and D, where they limit. So because of that thing and the suspicion of the ordinary Sierra Leonean, it always heightened when the laws are not very, very, very clear. But when the laws are very clear, very distinct, where you get a full chapter, we will get chapter 1, where the preamble, we will get chapter 1, press freedom, chapter 2, freedom of expression, chapter 3, limitations, chapter 4, or section 4, 5, 6, etc., etc., they go down. Then you go down show who sign at the weakening points them, you go down show who sign at the strong points them, and you go down show what is clearly a free speech and what is an incitement etc., etc.
So a blogger where they watch you out there, where instead na part of this journalism now, they do. What thing will be your advice to run and for adhere to these laws where they come into being?
Fantastic. The way where the world on day now, the world don't become a global village. And because of the world don't become a global village, we get what we call the information superhighway, where every information you can able to get and you harness them. You be a blogger or potential blogger, there are places where you go visit na the internet, where you go for learn the craft of journalism. The basic craft of journalism is 1, passion. 2, willingness. 3, willingness also to learn new things, because there are new things coming up in media. Media is not written on stone. In those days, we just get the tabloids where people just go and write their opinions. But with time, we got the radio. With time, we got the television. With time, we got the internet. Now, we don't go into the cyberspace massively. So, we all migrate together. All the traditional journalists, them, bloggers, everybody's migrating, and now the convergence now, the internet. You cannot do proper journalism now without using the internet space. Also, you cannot be a very good blogger without using the internet space. And when you decide for going to the internet space, please just don't just go there as you want to go there. Go there with the commitment and passion and the willingness to learn new things. Learn media law and ethics, because there are basic principles where they turn people off. Many people elect for watch and listen to bloggers. But you go agree with me, say there are some bloggers where in the middle of an interesting piece, they are stuck or then they deviate from the real things the way people want for listen, just because maybe they not read more or they not get that particular information they write for make them able for address some of the needs of the listeners. Because the listeners also, they find entertainment in the blogger and news way they try for bring come. So, but in the middle of it, if the craft not well capacitated in the blogger or in the possible way they try for, bring out the information, there are things that we go miss in terms of questioning, in terms of use of language, in terms of reaction of the audience or the interviewee. All them things, and they can come together, we can make let somebody where you listen go just say, but this might don't point this point. So for make that not be you portion, learning small things every day about your craft is good, and referring to more people we don't expose into the business, because I would say we are many in the field, we're willing and ready for help others for grow, because this is our field. We don't put we life there, we don't seek sweat and blood for make sure say the media of side don't change, and don't change to the better. But we want the betterment, let it be legitimized in a point that constitutionally we can raise we hand and say no, this way they do it in all right, or this way they do it right, or this person one can interfere into his space without the prerequisite education or skill set. So let it come for training or whatever, so that we'll build that space there and make that space the best place for democracy, because this is the secret about free speech and freedom of expression or freedom of the press. It's to enhance democracy, and democracy talks about the people. The people, and the people all not go grab them, can't sit down and state out, then talk. They all not grab them, go to parliament, then talk. They all not grab them, go to lock up, then talk. There must be conduits, people like you, people like other radio station, other TV station, where go come out and express what the people feel, and go take the thoughts, go with mic or camera, take the people and thoughts, bring and can process them, and send them back to the people. Then the people will say, yes, their voice count. That is why I go praise the good work una they do, because una they really reach out to those who do not have the opportunity for claim the steps and come before the camera and can talk. But when you take the camera to them, you know what you are doing? You are empowering the people, because the people, they feel connected, and that connectivity now they make a government get in respect or a loss in respect. Because when once the person will say, me I dey wait, careful again, they can talk now, they can pass here just now. I they talk with you, I feel for talk, And indeed, in not say self, you appear the, it means to say you don't match up to the people expectation. And when you match up to the expectation, then talk, you come, you process them, you put it out there, then the person say, I'll be talking. It's because it don't take me point. Now then inside it begin look, it begin see the people with the comment, it begin see the ministers in the comment, it begin see member of parliament the comment, it begin see other people from other areas the comment say these same things that they happen in our area. It means the person don't connect and you don't be the connecting point. That's why we need to forget this freedom, you understand, of the media, and also freedom of expression of all the citizens. And when you get the freedom of expression of all the citizens, you go even show them what is freedom and what is not freedom.
All right, the program now Tell It to Unity with Kelvin Lamdo. We come for talk to Unity about press freedom, the way we journalists therefore behave with self, and how freedom is not absolute freedom. It talk about bloggers, how they self need for land, and so that then content go resonate with your learners. You within a house with the watch, no say this program they can live from with Facebook and with YouTube page, and we also they on TikTok. Don't forget say ask you the comments, be responsible, be on point, and not attack any persons inside the studio. Now, Kelvin, we don't see the sales of Wilberforce Juba Barracks. I beg your pardon. And this morning we've been getting at the studio the PRO will come and tell we. Of late, we also see the chief minister himself go and look the place. But when you look at that giant building, that giant massive structure where they say then they put na Masiaka, now they get for relocate them people then they. In the very first place, the news come as a surprise, a shock, or was it a shady deal the government be one for them?
Thank you very much. Where you don't bring that particular thing there, and instead in the dissemination of information. Me not a communication specialist. I know what it take for begin a communication process till you end them, especially for a venture like that particular one day. Well, I must toe the line with the existing narrative we don't say there is an intention for relocate the Juba barracks. We mainly been there for the military engineering and logistics team in those days where we've been known for, because it's located in a small 20-acre piece of land. If you come out by Lumley, you go as soon as you pass the Goodies supermarket by your right hand side, and it drop go down to the sea, and where also you get the services secondary school, where a secondary school absolutely first time been just there for Sujaman picking them or then wards them. But now that particular place they don't become so moribund. Well, wait till we see the photos and the eyesore way don't they now those buildings were there from colonial period to date, and they are not well looked after, and not even they accommodate enough military people, because what we understand now that they get 20 odd buildings there inside it, and those buildings are like billets, we each one will take more than 20 people or families. Then it don't they so an eyesore, no renovation, no cleaning, no nothing. Though the school self be there at the edge and all the rest of it. But if there is a thought that we want for relocate these barracks to Masiaka, that process of communication should have been thought out very, very, very clearly, and therefore first don't come. Because now what we can see, now rumors begin show up, now different areas them, now the media, social media, and other media's houses them begin talk about, hey, they get a shady deal for sell Juba barracks and to Lebanese man, etc., etc., which is not the way it should have been started. If we don't start with a media awareness, where therefore don't bring all media houses in that spot and tell them say this is the spot. When allow we view them, let us look if this place really habitable for soldier man them, or for even contain the logistics where we really need for use for the military. If we all agree, say yes, it don't outdated, or it too small, or it too they in a, because the essence of getting a military barracks now for they na sideway it secluded to himself. But now there are many big businesses now don't go around the building, the site. So we make naturally, you know, say military not supposed for they under anymore. But therefore don't bring that they come out to the media, we send out to the public, then people understand. Because we are running a government of the people. So the people for understand what you want for do. Not to for let people begin pull them as small bits and pieces information. Then before now, una can now and tell you the real thing.
So
but
you
however,
Kelvin, you want to say a damage control than they do right now?
Well, I'm not going to say na damage control. It is their intention, but again, the military gets another process in which then they move out information. But me want for advise and say the own process of moving out information enough for too different from the way they move information generally, especially where it not be as a security risk. Because the general movement of that barracks to a new location is in place. Everybody go once, let that happen. Because nobody know one let barracks the middle a town. Because look at the law restaurants, the Obaya, Goody supermarket, the Obaya, the other businesses, then a school they across. Everybody, they all look and cram, they don't lock the military barracks in such a way that even if they do a secret plan, you understand, a security secret plan, all man around they go no, they go see what they do. So the need for move actually, but the process of communicating it is what I am questioning, because I'm a communication specialist and no say it should have been if we don't be from them, and if we don't be from outside sources, then now then come in. It appears as if they are doing a damage control. They are not. They are giving us real-time information now. But it's why it's only now. Then for don't begin giving them from the time where they get the plan. Because after all, it's a Sierra Leone military. Now for the people of Sierra Leone, my own picking self can just grab and say, I want to join the military, go join them. And he becomes part of it. And if he becomes a force commander or CDS, he is in charge. The Sierra Leone people ain't forget that. So give me the information, you understand? It doesn't mean we have to change and say, no, we're not doing. Because it is very reasonable that you cannot have a military location at that point like I did so right now. You know, go able to work. We agree with that. But therefore don't tell me, say, hey, we get a proposal for get this thing going to Mashaka, where we know so we get vast land, where me self they glad itself for letting go care and go there. And I know no more let them can go in no more alone. I want self let them care an extension of Connaught Hospital, the emergency wing, therefore located at them points in it. Because there are many accidents where they happen along the upline road where they go to the north and where they go to the south, where Mashakana like a melting point. If you get a massive emergency hospital there, people are going to come upline with the emergency cases. They don't need to come block traffic and so again. They'll just wait there, then get a treatment and go back to them places. And we get a military there where go able for, be like a center military force. You understand? Where go make sure say anybody who want to come upline with good money, they will stop at that point. Or if you want to come free time for go and walk upline, they stop you for that point. So it's strategically located for letting can go there. We all agree. But the process of communicating it was problematic from the onset. We just hope and pray now that they will control, borrowing the words of you now, say that they do a damage control, but the communication process not start fine. But how far don't they go now? I think we all don't help now. I'm glad we bring the commander Naya, we're in charge of communications. We himself don't bring it out clearly, and we self they throw credence to that people for understand say military issues, they're not general, not like a school or like a hospital. Military is security, it gets security implication. For example, as Tafulai, if they say, okay, we get a bomb now, one can test them. You understand? Then at that point, then people in a law restaurant, for example, and they eat and they dine and they enjoy themselves, then they test. Then you hear the big sound. Everybody go just come on to run, which is not the case for any other business. Military business should be where the authority they fit to say is safer for a day. So getting into Mashaka I'm fine with that. I know say no more they no go put her inside the tongue. They can go to a secluded place where they will get them privacy so they can do anything where their security will be well enhanced, because the security of the military is the security of the country. And if the security of the country they at stake, we all they at stake. So we want to let everything become nice and spanky, but the communication method, we deserve more to that and make them very, very clear so that more people will understand better, and then this not become a situation where it look as if now a shady deal and try for do. And if you listen to the head of the army, he said they don't even get somebody yet. There is a proposal where they want now for let out so that people could come and match up with waiting them put in the proposal. Then I think once they don't get the outfits, don't set now Mashaka, then they make the movement. Then people then all go down to say this now a former. There is no need, no rogue incident in that. We've been get a Bengon, we've been there na Side Street, where the Catholic they say been get some part of the land and all the rest of it. When Salon needed the stadium, then dismantle the Bengon commodity, then beg the Catholic, then they release some of the land. Now they will go on National Stadium now. Yes, it can happen. If they want, then that way could be former Juba barracks. They understand? In fact, Juba town, because there is a location there which is Juba. When at that time they take get the hill, all they get the sea and all the rest of it. So there is nothing wrong to take the barracks away from that point. But the method of communication, now we look forward to for letting get right next year within the door.
All right, it's the program now, Tell It to Unity with Kelvin Lando inside the studio. We come for talk to we about press freedom, and we just promote about the sale of Juba. The commander be there inside the studio this morning. It's we say they not finalize the sale. It's not proposal, and proposal not something we didn't think about. However, the method of communication or the method of handling the information now creates this. Well, I go use an pandemonium. Some man they say na damage control not they do, but we and the media no go come and say it is. But we hope say this will come to a good solution, so that the one day we then at Juba Barracks then go find a permanent and befitting residence for themselves. Plenty thank you to the studio guests, producer of this program, Momo Masakoi, and we studio engineer, and to myself, we present this program. Yourself we watch. Plenty thank you. Good night.
Unity Broadcasting Television don't come for unify, sensitize, and inform Salon people home and abroad. Unity Broadcasting TV don't come
for developments now we country see.
Unify, sensitize, and inform we all.
For developments now we nation Salon.
Unity Broadcasting TV don't come
for developments now we country see.
Unify, sensitize, and inform we all.
For developments now we nation Salon.
We now independent media house. We dey here for unify, sensitize, and inform Sierra Leoneans home and abroad.
We dey here so for talk, but waiting they happen. Political discussion,
You for know about Salon politics.
religious messages, entertainment self no go left bien.
We not go left nothing piano.
Unity Broadcasting TV don't
For
come
developments now we country see.
unify, sensitize, and inform we all.
For developments now we nation